You ain't gotta lie to kick it, my nigga. You ain't gotta lie. You ain't gotta lie. You ain't gotta lie.
Welcome back, everybody. Episode 16 of You Ain't Gotta Lie podcast. I'm Too Wavy J.Lo, aka J.Lo HD, that is. And who am I with?
It's your boy Money. How's everything going, bro?
Another day, man. Been busy actually. Been doing a lot of cleaning and but nothing important.
I see you
of course.
posted
Nothing
a
more
Madden
important
one.
than obviously us. Yes, I posted a Madden video. To anyone who only watches our podcast, please go sub to my YouTube channel. It's jsta_hd, which is my user handle that we always post in the beginning. But yes, I have a gaming channel. If you're into that thing, go watch, leave comments or recommendations, blah, blah, blah. But today, what we're talking about on the pod, as always, we got juicy topics as usual. We're talking about hookup culture and is it ruining relationships? Then we're going to move on to red flags and deal breakers. Obviously, we got to talk about the NBA finals and other things going on in the NBA. And last but not least, as you guys can see, I'm decked out in Panthers gear because we're talking about my Panthers. Money. Who's starting off the first topic? You or I?
You got it. I want to hear your thoughts.
You want me to go
Yes.
first? All right. So, has hookup culture ruined relationships? Ultimately, I'm going to go ahead and say sort of. And when I say that, it's like not all the way, because obviously, we still, from what I see at least, I still see people creating genuine relationships and bonds with other people out there. And obviously, you're a good example of it. You're married, and I don't want to say it's ruining it. I do say it's making it harder, though. I will say it's making it harder to find someone because from my personal experience, it's a lot more women that are looking to hook up than you would think. Like, I've met a lot of women who were, I'm not looking for anything serious. And so it creates that bond of this is surface level. There's no feelings going on. And in my opinion, it's a lot of unhealed women out here that instead of dealing with their trauma and working on what they're going through, they resort to having emotionless hookups instead of finding something real and genuine because they're scared to get hurt. I don't want to be that guy, but I'm finna be that guy. Newsflash, we've all been hurt. It's sadly a part of life. You date people, you meet people, and they don't always work out. You hear stories of people like, oh man, I knew from the moment I met her that was the love of my life. Not everyone has that. And so I believe that you meet someone, you guys date, it was awesome for what it was, and then you break up. Sometimes a relationship isn't awesome throughout. Sometimes people are in abusive relationships, and then that ends. But you gotta heal. You gotta take that time to heal, and then it just doesn't make sense to put yourself out there, but you're not fully putting yourself out there. I know the last young lady I was talking to, me and her were talking for a long time, like maybe 3 years, and like I was ready for something more serious, and she wasn't. And I'm like, yo, like, what's going on? Like, I'm doing all the right things. I'm showing up for you, and she's like, I'm just not ready yet. And I was like, yo, it's been this amount of time and you're not ready yet, then you're never gonna be ready. So I cut things off. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, if you ain't over something because we talked for 3 years, buddy. If you're not over something from essentially 5-6 years ago, then you should seek professional help. And I don't even say that trying to be funny. Like, you got to move past things. You can't allow that trauma and hurt to control your life. And I'm not saying that like it's easy to do. It's not an easy thing to do, and I totally get that. But you need to find a way to deal with it. You can't avoid it forever, or else it's going to keep surfacing up. What about you? What do you think about all of
You
it?
know what's funny? Before we had this conversation, I was bouncing between yes and no. But I agree with what you said with sorta. Some of the things I would say regarding sorta is I'm gonna talk about the bads, right? People aren't as patient or truthful as much. Everything is a dream. People pretend, hey, I'm this person, and then once they get whatever they
Right.
want, then they're a totally different person. You're like, hold on, what? Like,
Yep.
you were sweet.
And men are guilty of that
Yeah.
too. Men are guilty of that too.
It's like you were sweet and everything. Now I can't stand to look at you.
Yep.
So I'll say sort of like you were saying. And then, I would say it has had a great positive impact because you get to see the women who are there for a good time, not a long time, because they'll show themselves, like you're saying, with old girl, hey, I'm not ready. After 3 years, you're just here for a good time. You know, at that, like
Yeah.
after a year, a lot of times, or after a few months, you get to know the type of woman that she is. Like I watch the show Catfish all the time. That was one of my favorite shows, by the way. And it's like, it's like you're getting catfished with some of these women.
Absolutely. Because they're showing you one thing and that's not really what who they are or what their intentions is. And another thing that's sadly more prominent, and I think it's because of the hookup culture. Like, you know, it is a lot of women on dating apps that will meet guys, and after however long they talk, maybe they talk for like 2 3 weeks, their first meetup will be inviting that guy to their house. It's honestly shocking how many women on the dating app it will invite some. You don't know who these people are. You don't know if this man's crazy or if he's a killer or anything. And they will invite, it's like, oh, they made me feel safe. And they'll invite these men. Now, granted, it could be a double-edged sword. You don't know if she crazy. She could be on some kidnapping people. But it's a lot of women that are on these dating apps inviting men to their house for the first
Hey
meetup.
Jay, you be the medic girl, and then you get a phone call from one of your homies. Hey bro, help me! I'm in her basement. There's about four of us in here.
So yeah, but that feeds into the hookup culture thing, man. So it's just like I said, I think it's a lot of women that's not healed from past trauma from some dude that just broke their heart. And I get it. And I'm sorry that happened to you. But you need to heal from that so you can be happy. One thing, and this is a slight tangent, but I feel like this is how I kind of relate to it as far as being hurt. When I was younger, my biological father wasn't in my life. And I used to have so much hate and resentment towards this man. And then it was like someone just broke it down to me like, Jay, you got to move past that. Like you giving him power over you. I'm like, what do you mean I'm giving him power over me? It's like, because you still have this anger towards him. It's like the longer you have this anger towards him, you giving him power over you. And then like, that was like, I don't want to give nobody power over me. So, and it wasn't easy. I remember that process going through it. It wasn't easy to, you know, I forgave, but I never forget. You know what I'm saying? Like I've moved past that phase of my life. Like at the end of the day, he chose not to be a father to me, so I can't blame myself. So but I get being hurt and trying to move past it. But the thing about it is, you gotta take those steps to move past it.
You know what? I'm gonna use this as an example. Sometimes women use pain, hurt, no matter what they went through, and just, or man, and just hook up with so many other people. And
Yeah,
that's their way of nulling the pain. It's just, you know,
it's numb to
yes,
everything.
and that can make a difference. They could, they could have went from, or they met a, had ran into the wrong guy, and now who broke their heart, and now they're like, I ain't gonna trust another guy. I just hook up with a guy, whatever, get what I want, and go on. Sometimes with a guy, he might have met a chick who broke his heart, and now he's like, yeah, I'm gonna treat every chick wrong, just sleep, get what I
Yeah.
want, and go on about my day. But I'm like, like how we're talking about, you have to go and get, help for that. If you have to talk it out, go to therapy, any of those things can help make a difference and help you be able to have,
Anything that you holding on for more than three
mhm,
years, you should seek professional
yeah, be able
help.
to have healthy relationships. And that makes a huge difference with the healthy relationships is, hey,
Absolutely.
that this or that could happen, and and then we haven't even talked about it. Then a lot of sometimes that could happen, the girl end up pregnant. Now it makes the relationships for her harder. Like, some guys are like, well, shoot, you know I don't know if she's serious, and then they're just looking for one thing instead of trying to get to know her, type of thing. So
Right.
like we're saying, it could make a difference. That's why I was saying, I agree with what you're saying, sort of, because you know what, you still can meet the right one. I'll say, is it a chance that they could have, had met the first day at her house and still ended up getting married? Possibly. Is it
For
likely?
sure. For
Is it
sure.
likely? Probably not. But it's a possibility. You never know.
Like I've heard stories of people meet at the club and what was supposed to be a one night stand turn into this marriage between the two. So I get that aspect of it. You know, it's not totally uncommon, but it is, like you said, on the smaller side of the spectrum.
Yeah, I totally agree with you on that one. They've been, you know, and I'll say, I'll say, with a lot of these apps, that's what it's become. You get on Tinder,
Yes.
it's just, hey, if you're looking for something long term or whatever, just swipe left. I don't want to be,
Hmm.
So that's what it's become with some of these things.
For sure.
You got any more to say? You ready for the second topic?
I'm ready for the second one, which still ties into it.
Yeah.
Is the whole hookup culture is what are some of your red flags and deal breakers?
Okay. I thought about this, but I'll say I'll be on Facebook or Instagram and I seen some crazy stuff. I seen a red flag. I'll say a red flag. I seen a guy post a picture of a woman who's like, "Yeah, I got 3 kids and I'm pregnant with my fourth, but I'm looking to go on a date." What? Hold on, what? What? Yeah, I'm 7 months pregnant, but take me out or treat me right. Like, I gotta find this post that I seen. I gotta find it and send it to you. But the girl literally took him out on a date and paid for food and everything. And he's like, "Yeah, I can't deal with you." And she's like, "Why not?" He's like, "Cause you're pregnant." Like, he literally went on a date with a
Yo,
pregnant chick.
dating while you're pregnant is insane. Dating while you're pregnant is insane. Like, I don't know how else to put that. Like, that is absolutely bonkers. You have so many other things that should be a priority for you besides trying to find a man. And like it don't, and I don't want to be that guy, but you obviously fucking up trying to find a man if you single while you pregnant. You know how crazy that sounds? Like, if I get a chick pregnant, you know what I'm saying? Theoretically, we're going to be together. Unless, once again, it was a one night stand. Then, if that happened, then hey, I should have been smarter. She should have been smarter, yada, yada, yada. But, like, if I get a chick pregnant, like, we're going to be together until down the road something happens. I'm not going to not be with this woman. She's 7 months pregnant. That's crazy.
Yes. Yeah.
Trying to find your boo 7 months pregnant is insane. But shout out to him for being a stand up gentleman. Because there's a lot of niggas ain't gonna
Hey,
stay.
hey,
It's a lot of people gonna be like, get there? Oh,
hey,
hell
Jay,
no.
he just went on a date for the freebies. He went to the movie. He got to see the movie. He wanted free food. He dipped out on him. He ain't stay.
Oh, she paid for the
Yes.
date? Oh, it was a finesse. It was a finesse.
Yes.
Oh man, hey, I mean, yeah, that's crazy. Dating while pregnant is absolutely bonkers. Like, that is the wildest thing that anyone could do. I just can't stand for it, yo. Like, if that, like, that's a whole nother can of worms to get into, bro. But yeah, she's seven. First of all, you 7 months pregnant with, she got 4 other kids. You said?
She like I seen like either 2 or 3, and they 7 months pregnant. Yeah.
Oh no. You gotta put the goofy mean up for that. Oh no. That is wild. He ain't shit. He done went there, got the free food and
No,
peace.
no, no, no. This is two different There's 2 different instances. It was another.
Oh, these 2
Yeah,
different instances?
yeah. But still,
Okay,
the
okay.
girl.
I thought it was the
But
same
still, the
shit.
girl was
That's still
pregnant. And the
wild,
dude,
though.
he got his free stuff, and he said, "Yeah, I'm good." She's like, "You knew I was
And then
pregnant."
it's crazy.
He was.
Bro, I don't know, man. Like, that's a whole nother, like, I'm trying not to dive deep into that because that is just, I have a strong opinion on that. It is like, what is going on in your mind as a man to be like, yeah, I want some of that. I don't know who baby that is, but I'm gonna be like, I don't know, bro. Like, there's a lot to say
Dude, that's
about
a whole
that.
another can of words, but I'm gonna say that's a red flag to me.
Absolutely, dating a woman that's pregnant is 100% a red flag.
Okay.
It's funny as you say it because actually it was a couple years ago. Before we
Yeah.
continue, it was a couple years ago. I was talking to this girl, and I actually really liked her a lot. She had a child already, right? And she was going through a divorce or whatever. And me and her was talking, and I was like, hey, out of respect of what you got going on, we can't get too serious because I've heard some stories and I ain't finna get my feelings hurt where you talking about some me and my husband gonna work it out. So I'm not finna be that invested until your divorce is final. Because as long as y'all separated, that means y'all still legally married. And lo and behold, me and her got in an argument over something stupid, and she ended up going back to her husband and then getting pregnant. And then she called me and she told me what happened. I was like, okay, well, I'm sorry that that happened, but I do wish you guys the best or whatever. And Shorty was like, well, you said you always would look forward to having kids. You know, I'm finally having one. I'm like, yeah, it's a no for
Hey,
me.
that's what that dating while pregnant.
That's gonna be an MTV show, dating while pregnant.
Getting them ideas, man. Getting them ideas.
Oh man, but absolutely. What else you got?
I'll say these are my red flags, and then I'll talk about the deal breakers. I'll say women who are always out at the club, at the bar, or whatever. Don't
I agree.
that's a thing.
Shows a level of immaturity.
Yeah,
Like you trying to get drunk every weekend,
yeah.
every
And
weekend.
then and then and then bringing up their ex all the time. I feel like you haven't healed at that point if you're always bringing up your ex. Like I'm
Correct.
like you're like that person is like a placeholder to you because you can't get over your ex. Like say if Susie's dating Johnny, but Susie keeps bringing up Brock. Johnny's gonna feel some type of way. Like, why are you bringing up your ex? Like, yeah, I'm good on that.
And people notice that too, for sure. Like I was guilty of that when I called off my my wedding or their future wedding I was planning. So I was guilty of that. I was called out by a couple females about talking about my ex all the time. So yes, that is definitely because I looking back on that, I wouldn't want that to happen to me. So totally understand, agree with you 100%. Big red flag, and it does mean that you're not over that situation.
Now I'm gonna talk about my deal breakers. Someone who is financially irresponsible.
Ooh,
I'll say that's a deal breaker to me because could you imagine you all are going, say if you're going half on bills or 60/40 or 70/30, whatever you're doing, right? And you get all your stuff, say if rent is, let's just say 1,200 a month, right? Say if you're going 50/50, you
okay.
got your 600, and you're like, okay, I'm about to go pay the landlord. Where's your 600? I ain't got it. What do you mean you don't have it? I spent it on that red dress that you like. Hold on. You spent $600 on a red dress. Yeah, you like that red dress. I like the red dress, but not enough for you to spend $600. And I gotta pay the whole 1,200 now.
Yeah,
Or
totally get that one.
or they spending the money on a dress and now their car getting repoed. Like, hey, I need $300. What do you mean you need $300? Well, I went on that trip with my friends, and now I need $300 to pay for my car. What do you mean you need $300 to pay for your car? You didn't pay for it already? No, I went on that trip with my friends. Nah, I'm good on
Yeah,
that.
the priorities all messed up.
Yeah, so I'll say that is a big, big thing is the financial irresponsibility because I think that can mess with a whole bunch of things. Like it could, have you behind on bills. It could have you,
Yeah,
getting a car repossessed because of different things. And, say if y'all get a house together, it can mess up your credit.
absolutely.
Okay, my second one is substance abuse issues. I'll say say if you're with a girl who drinks heavily every single day, she gets a DUI. It's a lot of things that could mess up a lot of things. Like you can still love them and care for them, but it's a limit. It's a limit that this person can go. That you're like, yeah, I'm done. How do you feel about that one?
No, I agree with you. I mean, any substance abuse is serious. It takes over your whole life. You look at like I think cigarettes is a form of substance abuse as far as addiction because When you see, you know, smokers, when that nicotine start calling their name, ain't nothing. They can't hear nothing else. Like, I need a cigarette. I need. Or when things get too high involved, like in my workplace environment, you know, I work with like a couple smokers, and when they get stressed out, they're like, man, I need a cigarette. Like that nicotine is like kicking their ass. So I absolutely agree.
Or
You can't function because you focus on the
or
wrong
people who
things
smoke weed knowing that you can't pass a drug test.
for a job. Yeah.
Yes. So I'll say, that is a real serious issue because, like you said, it could take over your life. It could lead to DUIs. You could lose jobs. You can be in jail. You don't know what you could do with those different issues. And we haven't even talked about hardcore drugs. We just talked about the basic stuff.
Right.
And then the last one is poor communication. I'll say, like we talk about, it takes less than a minute to send somebody a text. Hey, I'm busy. Hey, I'm going out of town. That type of thing. I'll say, poor communication. It could include, them not texting back or them expecting you to read their mind. I ain't a mind reader. We're not mind readers. We're like, hey, what's
Right.
wrong? Like we may know, you may know your woman good enough to know, hey, that she's going through something because, something's wrong. But you have to be able to communicate. Hey, I'm going through this, and that. That's why I'm not able to, have this conversation with you, or I'm not able to, to be able to go to the movies with you because I'm going through different things. Hey, just communicate it. Let me know what's going on, and then I know, hey, this is the reason why you're not, able to answer my questions or whatever. What about you? What are your
Right.
red flags and deal breakers?
All right, some of our red flags is like the way you talk normally. Like if we having a conversation and like you just like talk reckless, like it's a way you can talk. Like if I'm talking to you like, hey, how's your day going? Ain't shit cool. Like I can't do too much slang from a female. Leave the slang to me. Like I don't like no woman who I like for a woman to speak very clear and proper, and I like educated girls. Like I ask a lot of questions. So if I ask you a question, I need you to have an answer. Okay. Like my boo thing now, she college educated. All right. So that's a big thing for me. Another what's a red flag? A red flag is a woman who don't got her stuff together. Like I need you to like, hey, what's your 5-year plan? Well, in 5 years I like to be doing this that, and the third. Because I like to believe I have a 5-year plan. Now, is it gonna go that way? We don't know what the future holds. I'm not,
At least how it
but
goes.
have an idea. Yeah, have goals and expectations for yourself. Never settle and get caught in that rut. Another red flag for me is trying to think what I got. Another red flag will have to be the way you talk to people. Like I'm big on that. Like for example, we go to a restaurant and the waiter or waitress accidentally spills, the drink on the table. How do you handle that situation? Do you immediately cuss him or her out? Cuz that ain't cool. People make mistakes. It was an honest mistake, you know what I'm saying? Now, if there's a world that exists where this person, y'all been beefing since the third grade and she spilt it on purpose, but what are the odds of that? You feel me? So like the way you talk to people, the way you handle situations, the way you carry yourself, that's a big thing for me. So as far
I agree with that one.
as right, so as far as that goes, you gotta be able to talk to people, man. You can't be out here crazy. Now, a deal breaker, I'm right there with you. Drugs, that's a big one. You can't be smoking cigarettes. That is a huge one for me. I can't stand smokers. Smokers' breath smells so bad. Oh my goodness. I can't do a
Let me
smoker.
ask you
You
this.
smoke weed or cigarettes?
Let me
No.
ask you this. What about, can a deal breaker be a woman's voice?
Some people it is, but nah. I mean, I never was one to like, oh my, I can't deal her. Her voice is annoying. Some people have voices. Some people may find that as deal breaker, but I never found a woman voice like so annoying to the point it's like I can't date this girl because of her voice. So no. Have you came across one in your past where you was like, oh, I can't talk to her voice is
Not in
crazy?
my past, but if a woman sound like a dude, like yeah, I'm good on that.
Well, she sound like a dude. She might be a dude, so that's a different conversation.
I'm just saying, I'm just
It
saying.
was like, hey, big daddy. Like, damn, your voice deep. Oh, it's been like that since I was 13. Oh, it's been like that since you were 13. Lift your neck up. Go ahead and lift your neck up for me. So yeah,
I'm just saying, but not really to me because you don't know. Like it's about how that person is to me, you know. And I'll say that's the big thing. If that person could have certain type of voice, but they're the sweetest person in the world. That person is worth it to
right.
invest in. But I'll say throughout my
No,
past,
I
no, I
agree.
haven't really met too many of those.
Same. Um, Another deal breaker is like a physical woman. Like we can play and all this stuff, but when you go like punching me for real, like nope, can't do it. Can't do it. Nope. You is not gonna be putting your hands on me. Cause I'm not gonna be that nigga on Tinder Talk News. Like, damn, Jay, what happened, bro? It's like it's a video service me getting my ass whooped by a female. Nope. Nope. You're not gonna put
Hey,
your hands
Jay,
on me, shorty.
Jay, you couldn't even lick your friends in the face after that.
Nah.
Get your imagine?
Like I don't even like the little playful punching. Like she's like, you so fun. Like, hey, don't do that. I don't even like the playful punching. No, don't hit me. Do not hit me. I will be out so fast. That is the quickest thing to make me be like, all right, I'm done.
Now you getting handcuffed, walk to the front door with your neighbors
Right now, I'm the bad guy
like
now.
like everybody's looking at you like, yeah, that dude right there. Now you got to explain to the job why you can't make it to work next week. I was in county. Like it wasn't my fault though. She like I got the black eye.
Like this is one dude. I think they're doing a skit, but it's still funny as hell. Where he was like, yeah, man. He's like, yeah, we gonna have all the girls, and he's like, hey, man, don't say that. My girl follow you. He was like, what? He was like, nah, bro, cause my girl crazy, whatever. He was like, but my whores are your whores, and your whores are my whores. And he's like, nah, man. Remember how I got the black eye? He was like, yeah, you said you ran a fade with homie. He's like, it wasn't a fade. She black mine. Oh, she's abusive. Then leave her, fool. She's probably weird. So yeah, like nah.
I'll say any other deal breakers. I'll say a deal breaker could be how a woman dresses.
Yes, but to push back on that, for example, money. Let's say you're a single man. You meet a girl on Instagram. She has a little following. She got 300K followers. She's the Instagram model. She makes money through Instagram. You know what I'm saying? That's her thing, right? If Shorty dresses provocatively on her Instagram, you reach out to her, you ask her on a date, she agrees, you guys go out. 6 months later, you can't get mad that she's dressing provocatively on her
I
Instagram.
agree.
That's how you met
I
her.
agree.
You can't just try to switch up all of a sudden, like, oh, you don't need to be wearing that no more. I'm here. It's like, bro, that's how she's making her money.
Yeah, I agree. But
So she show a little extra cleavage. You can't get
no.
mad at
But I'll
that.
say this though: if you're a single guy and you see she dresses that way out in public, you're like, yeah, I'm good on that. I don't care how good she look. I'm good
Yeah.
on that type of thing. So I'll say that could be a big deal breaker, and it's a deal breaker for a lot of men because now you got dudes making slick comments like, yeah, man, your girl looking good tonight. Now I gotta now I gotta say something to the dude because he being real disrespectful. And I'm in a fight every weekend.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and then some women out here who have the mindset that, oh, well, I'm with my man so I can dress a little extra sexy. And it's like, yeah, but you creating attention too, shawty. Because all it takes is for us to go to Cold Stone to get ice cream. And I happen to slip into the bathroom to get, use the bathroom. And I come out, and now I come out the bathroom with a pack of hyenas around you. You know what I'm saying? Because you dressed with your little cheekies out.
Hey,
So
you better take kickboxing classes.
like, and you know as well as I do, man. Niggas gonna try it. Niggas gonna try it no matter where you at, who she is. If the girl look good, especially she's dressed provocatively, it's gonna be a problem.
Hey,
So yeah, absolutely. I'm not a
hey,
fan of it.
I'll tell you why I ain't been in churches for a long time. I'll tell you that story later.
I thought say then something like that happened to you. Someone hit on your wife and they was like, "Oh, this you." They tried to play you. I think you did tell me that story. They tried to play you like that wasn't you. Like, yeah, it's me, bro. Go ahead and fall
No,
back.
no, we're
Yeah,
dating at that point. I ain't been to church's chicken since, bro. It been years.
man, that still was your shorty. Dating or
Yeah,
not,
yeah,
she was
yeah,
with
yeah,
me.
yeah.
So
I heard dude in the back talking, and then she go make a comment. Yeah, we ain't been. You want to go to church's chicken? We ain't been since, bro. It been years. Hey, hey, I'll drive past the churches and keep driving.
my boy Williams had to fight for his wife. I respect it, bro. I respect it. My boy said, "Not in my house." I respect it.
Like I said, man, it's a restaurant that some of us ain't been to since. That's one of them. And she's like, we can't go to churches.
I respect it,
No,
man.
the only time I go to churches is through the drive-through.
And even then, you got an attitude. Let me get a number 6 pullover. Hey man, y'all taking too long. Hurry up with my food. I'm ready. I'm ready to pull off.
You know which churches I'm talking about. It happened at, right? The
Where?
one in Lakeland.
You talking about the one on Lakeland? Oh man, yeah. That's not in the best of areas either. So I can see that happening. Somebody got shot at churches one day. So yeah, I can believe that.
See, it's good. I don't go back, bro. You know, one of my
Yeah, that's not the best of areas.
one of my homies, that was
You
favorite
can go to
spot.
churches in Arbondale, bro.
Yeah, dude got a drive through. And she was wearing normal clothes,
So
bro.
yeah, man.
She was wearing normal clothes.
Hey, bro, they said she was fine, bro. She can have a nun outfit. Fine is fine. And it was like, she fine. I need to know her name.
I had to let the dude know, like,
And then
y'all.
they saw you like, I know she ain't with this nigga.
No,
Yeah. You never want to be in that situation where they try to play you. Are you with this nigga? Like, this is the nigga you chose? Like, hey,
I
chill, bro.
heard.
Because now you got to shoot
No,
everybody.
I heard a younger guy talking to an old head. I'm like, nah, that's me, man. And he left it alone. You know, you'd have heard about me on Bay News 9.
Yeah, because I can't get disrespected like that. I see that shit happen once in my life, and I was like, that would never be me. I'd have aired out that whole churches. You with this nigga? Like, this the nigga you came
You
with?
see that
Nah,
in person?
everybody gotta go. Yes, and she's like, oh, this my man or whatever. It's like, you got a boyfriend? I'm sorry, miss. And I ain't gonna lie, bro. He was kind of a square ass nigga. Like, he just sitting there, like, he see the dude trying to hit on his girl, and he just standing
Was she
there.
dressed
And then she's
provocatively
like,
or was she dressed normally?
I mean, she had a little short little dress on, but nothing too crazy.
Okay.
And then she's like, no, I'm out with my man or whatever. And he looked, that's your man? She's like, yeah, that's my man. That's the nigga you came here with? She's like, yeah, so I came here with. Oh, hell no. And I'm like, he just standing there. I'm like, oh, no. See, everybody would have been shot. Like, don't.
Hey,
Everybody would
let
have
me
been
ask
cleared
you
out.
this: was the dude that made that comment with other dudes, or was he by himself?
He was with his homies, but, you know, he approached them by himself. But, yes, he was with other dudes.
That's probably why dude ain't say much, because he's like, look, I say the wrong thing and get in a fight. I gotta fight 5 dudes instead of one.
Man, you can't be scared,
Hey,
bro. No, you can't be scared, bro.
Hey,
You can't be
that's why you
scared.
gotta have that thing on you sometimes. Hey,
Boy, from the clear out church, it's like, everybody get out.
no, because you know we trying to have a conversations between me and him. Now you whooping his homeboy. Now all other dudes running up on you. Now you like, oh, this how it's gonna be. Then they all like, bro, it ain't gotta go that far now. Nah, bro, y'all ran up on me. He the one came and disrespected me. I gave him what he wanted.
He came over
Yeah.
here. Exactly. I gave him what he wanted. He came over here.
Yeah, like I
So-
look at it like this though. I noticed that don't happen a lot of times because, you know, as man, like we got like a code. Like you make certain comments, it's gonna lead to violence. You know, it's gonna lead to a fight.
Absolutely.
And so, you know, as a guy,
Can't be out here disrespecting
I
people, man.
try to stay away from that type of thing. you know, because you don't know, the dude could be having a bad day and now want to take a dude life type of thing. And that's why,
Yeah.
like we said,
You seen the video going viral about the dude who killed his wife and killed himself?
no,
Cause she found out. Yeah, I got sent to you, bro. But apparently, it was a lot of drama. But long story short, too long didn't read version was like he found out she was cheating on him with his best friend or whatever. But then he's on IG Live like trying to expose her or whatever. And then she messed around and said a name which sounded like the name of a dude, basically saying we know you on the DL. And after that, it got crazy. So But yeah, he
you know what? A deal
took his own
breaker.
life.
That would have to be another thing. We have to add someone that is, not faithful, an unfaithful woman. We have to add that to the list because that could lead to a lot of things. Like how many guys have we, heard about that got killed behind, a woman that was cheating, like a woman who was lying. Right. We have to say, being truthful because he was lying. Like I ain't got a man and now a dude's in the house trying to hide because a boyfriend or whoever came home.
We seen those videos.
Yeah. So we have to add that to the list too. Is hey, you don't want to be on the other end of that. Now you're home. Now you got to bury your homeboy because old girl was lying.
Yeah, for sure. Anything else you want to add to the list?
No, I'm
man?
good. What about you?
I think that's it for now. So, moving on to our next topic, we're hopping right into some NBA buzz. Couple things I want to talk about before we get to the juiciest part of this is, have you tapped into the NBA draft process yet? Like what's going on with the draft picks and stuff like
I've
that?
seen a little bit.
Or you
I've seen they say Ace Bailey doesn't want to work out for the 76ers.
You know why he doesn't want to work out for the 76ers?
Why is that?
So the reason he doesn't want to work out for the 76ers is because they reached out to him, invited him for an invite, and he was like, hey, I will come if you guys guarantee you will draft me. You have to promise me you will draft me with the number 3 pick. And it's like, buddy, this is the best opportunity for you out of the top 5 picks.
Yes. Because looking at the rumors.
Maybe San Antonio. Yeah, exactly. Maybe San Antonio, but San Antonio's picking 2, right? So Dylan Harper is considered to be the second best prospect in this draft. So he's pretty locked in at 2. Unless they trade the 2 pick, then we can have a conversation. But as of right now, he's going to San Antonio. This is the best situation for you.
Yes.
PG didn't work out, sadly. So PG's probably going to get traded. And then in comes you to be
you and Maxey
side by side.
You and Maxey because Embiid can't stay healthy. So y'all are 2 pieces for the franchise. You ain't going to a scrub team. You're going to a team with a point guard.
And not to, be that guy, but you don't got the juice like that, bro. Out of everybody in this draft class, there's one person who got the juice. And to be honest, he don't fully got the juice like that. Like, he got a little bit of it, and that's Flag. Flag got a little juice to be like, okay, I'm not going to work out for that team, right? Work out for this team.
He's going number 1 regardless.
Yeah. But Bailey's listed 6'10" at Rutgers.com, but he's really like 6'8". So, another guy who lied about their height. He played with Dylan Harper, who was considered to be another top 5 pick. But this is where these 2 kids are really like turning me off. Dylan Harper, considered the second best player in this draft class, right? Ace Bailey, considered if you don't think Ace is number 3 worthy, top 5, right? Say top 5. Okay, perfect. You have 2 guys who were considered top 5 picks on the same team.
Y'all
and
can't
they
win.
go 15 and 17 and don't make the playoffs? 15 and 17 and don't make the playoffs? Even Ben Simmons, when he was on that LSU team, and you and I both was like, they should be better than that. I think they went 19 and 15 or 19 and 14 or something like that. Even as bad as that team was, they still had a positive record. That's alarming. And then you telling Philly that you got to promise to draft me or I'm not coming to the workout. So now you killing your draft prospect. Now you finna fall down the board. Where you going to end up? In New Orleans with Zion?
Hey.
So I think that's
did you hear that podcast with Gilbert Arenas? He was talking with somebody, I think maybe Kenyon Martin, but he was talking with someone and they were like, we don't like that. They asked him, they're like, how many teams did you work out for? 1, because I was guaranteed to go number 1 overall. He's like, that's why I only worked out for 1 team. And if not 1, I was going to go 2. No, it was an older guy. I forget his name. I think it may be been
Oh,
Kenyon
okay.
Martin, maybe.
Okay.
And he's like,
Yeah, Kmart was high on there, so yeah.
yeah, he was like,
But Kenyon Martin, he got a fucked up mindset anyway. That's why his career went the way it went. So, but yeah, totally get
yeah,
that.
if I was going number one. Matter of fact, Jay, I would have went to every city that wanted to talk to me. I'm getting free food. You fly me
Exactly.
in
You
for
getting free
free?
food, free flying out,
Hey, hey,
and you finna do what you love to do. Who?
hey, Jay.
Come on, bro.
Hey, Jay, I'll call up. If I was supposed to be going number one, I'll call up San Antonio. Hey, can y'all fly me out for a workout? While I'm all in San Antonio trying out all the hot spots for food.
And that's the thing. That's why these young kids don't have the right people in their ear, man. Like if you projected top five, it's like you could go anywhere from 1 through 5, and it's like, well,
Look at Shador.
who was the worst team universally last year? Who was universally the worst team in the NBA this past season?
Was it the Wizards? The Jazz? It was the Wizards or the Jazz. One of the two.
Okay, let's use the Wizards, right? So let's say the Wizards pick 3. And there's like, hey, Jay Jr., we want to invite you out for a workout. My son, like, I don't want to go to Washington. Son, you're projected top 5, which means you could go number 1 or you could end up going
Hey,
5.
Jay.
Go to Washington.
Or you can fall out.
Enjoy the city.
You can fall You can fall out.
Or you can fall out of the top 5, exactly. Because if teams see that, you turning down workouts, and then soundbites gonna sneak out like, "Who wants to play for Washington?" Right? It's like, oh well, Jay Jr. said, "Who wants to play for Washington?" Now it's like, well, damn, does he feel like that about Phoenix? Now all these other teams look at you sideways, and next thing you know, you go from a top 5 pick to you getting picked 28th.
And you lose a lot of
So,
money too.
Always, exactly, you lose a lot of money that way. So yeah, these kids, and then another video of Dylan Harper, which is pissed me off. I sent it to the group chat where he's at the NBA Combine and he's not taking it serious. They had to do the vertical jump. He just bunny hopped. Then he's like jogging through drills. He just putting the like he's unserious about it. Like I'm going number 2, so I don't care. And I'm just like, man, that's the wrong mindset to have, kid.
Yep.
When John Wall was going through the draft process, he had kill on his mind. He's like, I'm going to kill any and everybody in front of me at this thing and let them know that I am the best player in this draft class.
You know what, Jay?
And what did John Wall
The
do?
mindset is different back then compared to nowadays.
Yeah, clearly.
Because think about it, the top I know we're getting into the NFL, but the top draft picks don't even work out anymore. Oh yeah, it don't matter.
Yes, sadly.
But back then, Cam Newton and all of them will be wanting to throw the ball, run the 40, all that stuff. Now, like we say, Dylan Harper don't care. Like, why? Why do you not care? Jay, think about it. What if he turned off the Spurs?
Even with Cam Newton too. Cam Newton knew he revealed this. He talked about this in one of his on his podcast or whatever. He knew he was going top 5, but it was unsure. Because he said he had the opportunity to work out with 3 teams, and Carolina was one of the teams. And he was like, okay, yeah, I'll work out with Carolina. So he didn't know. He said he didn't know he was going number 1 until the day of the
Hey,
draft.
didn't he work at the combine? Work out at the combine?
He worked out at the combine. Worked out at the combine, threw it his pro day, and he ran the 40 because apparently quarterbacks don't run the 40. Peyton Manning ran the 40. Tom Brady ran the 40. And they knew they wasn't going to go out there and run no 40 and impress no goddamn body.
Yeah.
But they still did it. So to have Shador, I'm not running 40. Well, I'm going to run the 44. Because Brady and Peyton Manning ran the 40.
You think
That's why
you
you're
think
running
that could have
40.
turned off teams?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. People say he bombed interviews because he thought he was going top 5 or whatever, which it could be true. But one thing I felt, and I'm a huge Shador fan, one thing that I personally didn't like is you not competing. You took an opportunity from some other kid to go to the draft combine and not compete. You didn't throw, you didn't run, you didn't lift. Why did you go? To answer questions? You could have did that at your pro day.
I agree.
Or I know you mentioned once, granted, I don't know the stipulations of it, but if you wanted to have an interview with teams could have flew you out to have an interview in the hotel for 5 minutes, 10 minutes.
I agree.
So you took an opportunity from somebody. And as a guy who feel like his opportunity was taken away from him, I don't
Think
like
about
that.
Harper. Like we're saying,
So-
he's taking an opportunity from somebody, not even caring.
Absolutely.
When somebody's like, when their dream is to get drafted, and he's, oh yeah, man, let me do.
Yep.
Or Ace
Just-
Bailey. Do you know how many people want to go play for the 76ers, but I don't want to go there?
Yep.
Like Philly, like I would have been trying to Philly cheesesteaks or something.
He wants to go there, but he's trying to throw his weight around, and it's like, dude, you're not like that.
No prospect can throw their weight around.
So yeah,
Besides maybe Flag,
correct.
because
It's only been a handful of It's only been a handful of where you like, okay, like LeBron coming
yeah,
out. LeBron was so hyped up. He's one of the pros because Wemby coming out. Wemby could have threw his weight around. You got to be generational
yes,
to be able to go in there and say, hey, are you drafting me? Because if you're generational, you're probably going number one.
yeah,
So it's just little things like that.
yeah. He's not
So,
even
yeah.
a top prospect
So, yeah,
on his own team.
He's not even the top prospect. He was the number 2 player in the country coming out of high school behind Flag. And then he went to Rutgers like, I'm going to show the world. We're going to show the world that I'm really the best player in the country. You didn't do that. You actually fell down the board. You went from number 2 behind Flag to number 3 behind Harper. So, which Dylan Harper don't look that impressive to me either. But in other news, the Lakers sold their team. The Buss family sold their portion of the team for $10 billion.
What's your thoughts on it? You seen they bought
So you
it?
know what that does, right?
You seen how much they bought it for, right? What is it, like 42 million or 427 million, something like that.
Yeah.
They made bank off that sale.
Listen, they increased the value of every NFL team and every NBA team that's more valuable than the Lakers. It ain't a lot. It ain't a lot in the NBA world, but the most expensive projected sports team has always been the Dallas Cowboys. And I think their projected value was like maybe 6 or 7. I'm not sure. 6 or 7 billion. If the Lakers sold for 10 and these niggas don't own their own arena, how much you think the Cowboys going to go
20.
for?
At least.
So you just spiked everybody's value up with this sale. Which I guess, hey, the rich get richer. So they don't mind it.
Hey, if I was
You sold your team for $10 billion and you don't own your arena.
hey, if I was
man.
an owner, I'd be trying to sell right now.
It's like, that's what they going for? Bet.
I think NFL teams are
So,
worth
yes.
more than NBA teams because all the TV contracts and stuff.
Yes,
So
they generally
so if
are.
you think
Correct.
about it, Jay,
That's why I said every
so
NFL
every
team went up.
NFL team is at least worth 10 billion now if we're doing the math. No, we'll probably say 11. At least so
That's crazy.
11 billion. So I would be selling right now because it's a high
Even
market.
if we're modest about the money, like who picked number 1? I can't think. Titans, let's say they're the worst team in the league, right? Even if we want to be like the Titans is the worst team, they're the least valuable out of the 32, right? If they're the least valuable out of the 32, and the Lakers, which is one on the higher end, they're top 3 most valuable before the sale teams, right? So if they're top 3 most valuable NBA teams, the Titans probably was worth 7,
Yeah.
6, and you just bumped them to at least 8,
Probably
9.
Probably 11. Because they
Or like you
got
said,
they
maybe
got the
11.
quarterback now. You know, well, a hyped up
Yeah.
quarterback. Hey, I'll be trying to sell.
They thought I say we think
Hey,
we don't know
Jay,
yet.
Jay, I'll be on the phone with somebody. Hey, I'm selling the Titans for 11 right now. Hey,
11
Jay,
Bs, yeah.
Jay, could you imagine being one of the teams that already sold like last year? Now you're like, dang, I done undersold.
Because I know a couple years ago Denver was recently bought, so I think Denver went for $4 billion.
Yeah,
A couple years ago. So,
that
yeah.
person's sick to their stomach. They undersold.
Absolutely. So another little bit of NBA news. Kerr hires Kerr. Did you hear about this?
No, I didn't hear about that.
Steve Kerr hired his son onto the coaching staff. He's being hired on as an assistant coach.
That happens all the time. And I'm gonna say, is he even that great of a coach? Because you know how they talked about LeBron with nepotism. Well, look at all these coaches hiring their sons, like you said with North Carolina.
I want all those people who've been bitching and complaining about LeBron getting Bronny drafted in the second round to have that same energy towards Kerr getting his son hired.
What about Bill Belichick?
I need to hear all them complaints.
Bill Belichick.
Bill Belichick and his weirdo son. Yep, same thing. If this hiring is not a big deal, then Bronny getting drafted in the second round is not a big deal. So that same energy we had towards the black player getting his black son drafted, we need to have towards the white coach giving his white son a job. We need to have that same energy. That's all I'm gonna say about it.
But we can say this.
Are you ready for the main event?
We can say this though.
What's up?
At
What you
least
gotta
with
say?
Bronny, with his situation, he was what a 5-star.
He was a lottery pick. He was a 5-star and a lottery pick coming out.
Okay. We never even heard of
But
Steve
he
Kerr.
unfortunately
Had that heart
The
defense.
thing that hurt Bronny's, since you brought it up, the thing that hurt Bronny's value was coming in. He was projected lottery pick, but the nigga almost
Yeah.
died, so he had cardiac arrest on the court. And so now, do I think he should have went back another year? Yes, because when he did come back, even though it was sort of amazing that he came back and was still able to play college Division I basketball, he wasn't very good. But then once again, he had no off season, right? I think he had surgery. Might have had. I'm not sure on that, so I don't want to say he had
I
heart
think that was a
surgery.
dad
but
call.
he missed out. I would hope not, because I'll look at LeBron differently. I don't. I like to believe
Because
this is Bronny's
because
decision,
think
not
about
LeBron's.
this. Think about this, right, Jay? His dream was to play with his son. He probably was like,
Yeah, but your son has to live his
I
life.
agree.
So I try to believe LeBron let him.
I agree, but I'm like,
you know.
he's like, as long as I have weight, weight to be able to swing around my weight, won't you come now? Like, you come now and develop in the league and get paid a good amount of money instead of staying in college
And to play that, he looked good in the G League.
Yeah.
Against other players that's been in the G League. I think he was top 5 in scoring.
Yeah.
Averaging like 26, 28. And which is the most points of all those players in the second round who were drafted that everyone was so pissed about that he got drafted over. He averaged the most points out of all those players picked in the second round in the G League, who played in the G League. So all that can be killed.
All right.
But yeah, so for him to miss all that time and then come back, and then now he's looking how he should have looked at USC.
Yes.
That's what we're starting
That's
to see.
probably why he came out, because LeBron was like, hey, why develop with college players? Come develop with pros. Because
That's
think
fair.
about it. Like, think about how many European players get drafted high because they played with pros their whole life.
Yeah. My only pushback is that it's like LeBron has 2 sons. Like, unless he's being blatantly obvious saying, yo, this is my favorite son. It's like he has 2 sons. So obviously we know he mentioned he wanted to play with him, but I would like to believe like he didn't tell him to like, you should leave now. But you make a good point. It's better to play against the pros and develop opposed to be in college. Because we saw last
Think about it, Jay. One injury.
March Madness.
One injury. Look at Lattimore.
One injury changes everything. And him having cardiac arrest, so I get that. But I don't know how much March Madness you watch, Money, but I watched a good bit of it. And it was the talent discrepancy was so significant watching those kids play compared to the NBA. I don't think it's ever been that high before, in my opinion.
Oh.
But as it currently stands, you can tell these are college kids and these are NBA players. So I understand that.
So I'll say, that makes a huge difference. But I'm ready for the juicy topic, the NBA Finals. I want to hear your thought. You want to go first, or you want me to go first?
I can go first. Pacers dominated with team effort. Indiana rallied out early, turning an initial 25-28 deficit into a 24-27 second quarter run, pulling ahead 64-42 at halftime, which at that point the game was essentially over because OKC couldn't catch up.
turned it off.
The Pacers completely overwhelmed OKC in the middle of the third quarter, outscoring them. They continued that pressure, 68-32 across the second and third quarter. Obi Toppin led all scorers with 20 off the bench. Pascal Siakam had a double-double with 16 and 13. And he had a nice dunk off of Holly Burton no-look lob. Hallie had, he was playing hurt. He had 14 and 5 and 23 minutes, which helped the team. Nembhard had 17, and McConnell had almost a triple-double with 12, 9, and 6. OKC just struggled all night.
I got a
SGA
comment.
I
got a comment, okay, because we're talking about OKC. That boy Chet had 4 points and 6 rebounds. That's pathetic right there. 4 points and 6 rebounds. You were picked number 2 overall.
I told you he's not ready.
Number 2 overall.
I told you.
Hey Jay. When we have our conversation with our friend, no Chet would have can't compare to Pablo. Pablo would have never scored 4 points. I mean, Paulo would have
Agreed.
never scored 4 points in a game 6 that you need to win. He probably would have outscored SGA if he had to. Because he was averaging 35 against Boston.
He was. He was. That is correct. So SGA, which is crazy, he's averaged 20 plus points in, I think, 70 games this season? 70, 80 games he played in, he had at least 20 points. And he struggled to get this 21 with 8 turnovers.
Yeah, that's
The team shot 26% from deep.
That's concerning.
And they had 21 turnovers as a team. So it was bad, which honestly, bro, I don't even know what to say. Like, I felt going in that OKC was just flat out better
Me
team.
too.
I don't know
Hey
anymore.
Jay,
I don't know
Jay, I'm
anymore.
gonna tell you what Phil Jackson said. I want you to think about this, and then we're gonna have to go into history. Phil Jackson said, "Get 40 wins before you get 20 losses." You know, most of the teams that got 40 wins before 20 losses won the NBA championship.
Mm.
OKC was dominant because they never even got 20 losses. They were what, 68 and what, 16 or 14, something like that.
They had some crazy record, yeah.
And they might be like the
So
Warriors,
yeah,
Jay. Remember the Warriors broke all them records just to lose.
they came close.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna give my thoughts.
they had that.
I'm
3-1
picking
coming out.
Pacers in Game 7. After watching Game
Mm.
6, I'm picking Pacers in Game 7 because Chet is not carrying his weight. You drafted this man number 2 overall, and he gets 4 points in a Game 6. And the Pacers already shown they can beat you in OKC.
Yeah,
I'm picking Pacers.
I told you Chet wasn't ready. Before we started this, I was like, J-Dub's going to be their number 2 option. He's like, well, what about Chet? Chet's not ready for this moment. I told you that, and it's been proven many games throughout this playoffs that he's
Like
not
I
ready
said,
for
Jay,
this moment.
Pacers in 7. I'm like Holly. He toughed through that. I think that team has a newfound way of. I think we can beat this team, and I thought it was going to be like our predictions were OKC in 5, OKC in 6. Now OKC is going to Game 7 with a hungry Pacers
Game 7.
team. Rick Carlisle has already shown that he could beat a team with superstars, and let's just call it what it is. OKC to me only has SGA and Williams, your boy J Dub. That's all they have because Chet is up and down. And then you look at Indiana, right? Indiana reminds me of that Dallas team. Remember the Heat had LeBron, Bosh, Wade. Well, Indiana has everybody. You know, they think about it.
They have a bench.
They
Yeah.
have and think about it like this: Game 7s, role players make a difference. Who has the better role players?
Yeah, I mean their bench is way deeper than OKC, so you can't argue it. I mean, yeah, I mean if I had to pick, I've been picking OKC every every game this series, so I'm gonna stick with OKC. But
Are you
man,
worried?
that is yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. It's no longer they're a better team. It should be over. It's not over. We're playing Game 7 for a reason. SGA is gonna have to go out there and score 50 like Giannis. And this is the first Game 7 since 2016 when the Cleveland Cavaliers came back 3-1. The Pacers delivered a complete unselfish team performance, balancing aggressive defense and bench scoring to force a winner-take-all showdown. Now everything comes down to Game 7. So, man,
SGA has to show he's
it's
MVP.
tough. He does. He has to show the world why he won the MVP. And J-Dub needs to play better than he
Hey,
did.
Jay.
He was like, I think he had 16 points on 16 shots.
It's just the
Awful.
two of them, though. It's just the two of them.
They gotta be better.
And here's my thing, right? If Chet has 4 and 6,
They got Caruso too. Caruso's more of a defense guy, but he can get
but
20
if
for you.
Chet
So he's gonna have to
if
step
Chet
up
gets
too.
4 and 6 again, I think Indiana's gonna blow them out the water.
Yeah, everyone needs to step up that game. Everyone has to be
Hey,
better.
hey, Jay, I was watching the game. I seen Chet pull up a 3. That boy Miles Turner slapped that junk up out of there.
He's too small. He's too small to play that center position or power forward position, whatever he's trying to play. He's too small, and it's been proven that this moment's too big for him. I've been saying it all playoff series. He's not ready for this moment, and it's getting proven in these finals.
I'll say this, man. You're getting picked number 2 overall. No matter what, I'll say we can even talk about Michael Beasley. They call him Be Easy. Be Easy would have at least put up some numbers. He'd at least had 20. He would not play no defense, but he at least had 20. It's I'm gonna say this. I'm starting to think that some of the US kids are getting into the league and they're underdeveloped because
Absolutely.
you're getting 4 and 6 in a decisive Game 6. You could send these boys home. I'm gonna say this. If the Pacers lose in OKC, we're gonna look at Game 4 as the turning point. Clip that. We
Yeah.
clip that. Game if Pacers losing Game 7, Game 4 was the turning point because they were home. You win that game, they close them out. They close them out the other night.
Yeah, I mean that is true. So it's game 7 though, Sunday night. I'm excited for it. We ain't had the game 7 in a minute. It's gonna really. I will be a little salty if it's a blowout. I need to be down to the last seconds. It end with free throws or a buzzer beater. Halliburton has made 4 buzzer beaters in this playoff run this season. LeBron has made 8 his entire career.
Like, could you imagine Halliburton makes the game winner for Game 7?
Absolutely nuts.
And then think about it. SGA, to me, his season would have been a waste. You got all those numbers and everything, and you didn't bring home the final.
You got all the way there.
Yeah,
All the way there, man.
and I think it's potentially they might not make it back because they they're gonna be there could be blaming it. Think about it. OKC only made it that one time, right?
Yeah. I don't think they'll tear it down though. Yeah, but
No,
think
I
they'll
don't.
tear
I
it
don't
down.
think so
everybody
either.
will be good.
But you might have to be looking at, hey, we might need to get some more firepower because, shoot, we only had 2 people get over, get big numbers.
KD gonna go back to Oklahoma.
I don't think so. I wanted to talk about that. Matter of fact, I wanted to had a conversation regarding these ridiculous trades. Like I'm seeing trades that they're talking about. The Suns asked the Spurs for the number 2 pick. Their number would be blocked.
Yeah, no. You're not getting a number 2 pick for Kevin Durant at 37 years old.
And then
A 37-year-old injury-prone Kevin
yes,
Durant.
and
no.
then they said that they called the Heat and they were like, we want pick 20, Khalil Ware, and all that. It's like, bro, like you're asking for too much.
Yeah, I've heard the Suns' price of Kevin Durant is extremely high. They treat him like they trying to get what they got, what they paid for.
Yes.
You're not gonna get what you
Hey
paid.
Jay, I heard a report talking about they want 10 first-round picks. Y'all can kick Ross at that point. He can stay on the team. Y'all can continue to lose.
Yeah, you're not. Like I said, they trying to get what they spent for him back, and they're not gonna get that. So he's gonna be in Phoenix next year if
Hey
that's the
Jay,
case.
did you see that post where they said that Anthony Edwards had a comment for Kevin Durant not wanting to be in Minnesota? He said we'll sweep him like we did next year.
I mean, they didn't even make the playoffs last season, so it don't matter.
Yeah, you have all
So-
that talent and don't make it. To be honest,
make
if
the
you're
playoffs.
the Suns, I personally think you need to tear it down. You need to get draft picks, Booker, and all like Kevin Durant obviously doesn't want to be there. I would get whatever I can for Booker before he gets too old, and nobody wants Bill. Like that's probably your only way of trading Bill because he got a no trade clause. So at that point, I would say, hey,
Right.
Bill, you want to be on this trash team or you want to get traded?
That man said, "I'm still getting paid $40 million, so it don't matter."
I'll waive him and go on about my day.
You're gonna take the cap hit, then you're gonna be in salary cap hell. You don't have your draft picks money. You can't waive.
I'll
him.
waive him, bro.
You're gonna be in salary cap hell with no draft picks. You're gonna be the worst
Hey,
team watching your number 1 pick go to
Hey,
someone
hey,
for
hey,
4
Jay.
years.
Jay, they got the number 1 pick with the dude with Bill on the team. The Wizards got number 1. Well, then they get number 1 pick with him on the team. You're gonna be bad. You're gonna be bad.
did
Yeah,
I don't think so.
they're gonna be bad regardless, man. I tell that dude, hey, we'll buy you out. We'll take you to lunch, treat your family.
Yeah, that's your best bet. Try to buy them out.
Because, boy,
You ain't finna waive this man.
Hey, I'll buy him out. Hey, I'll be trying to find a violation in his contract to cut him.
Dude. Anyways, you ready for our last topic?
Yeah, we call it Jay's Panthers
We're
talk.
going to talk about my Carolina Panthers in their offseason. So, backstory. Head coach Dave Canales, after a mediocre first year, is heading into year 2 at the helm after being hired in January of 2024, alongside our general manager Dan Morgan going into his second year as well, overseeing football operations. For what I'm seeing and hearing, camp has been excellent. Everyone's been excited. All our year 2 guys look like they're taking a year 2 step. Even Bryce Young is looking like he's developed. He's making some reads that he wasn't making before and throws that are really impressive. I'm hearing Xavier Legette looks like he wants to prove he's the actual number one in the team because he was taken in the first round last year. He got hurt towards the end, but he's looking really good. Ted McMillan looking like the guy we took with the 4th pick, so I'm excited about that. Because as you know, I was on the fence about us taking him. Wasn't quite sure, but he's looked good so far. He's looking like he is number one, so you got X trying to prove he's number one. Ted's looking like he's legit. That's great, man. No negatives. Our defense is our biggest question mark with our secondary having J.C. Horn dealing with injuries his whole career. I believe Bryce is also going to pick up where he left off last year, man. Bryce had end of the year last year really good after. Only reason he came back is because Dalton got hurt. Andy Dalton got in the car accident last season, so Bryce started. And then when Bryce started, he balled out. So, but yeah, so anyways, our defense, I'm worried about our corners a little bit. That's why I'm not sure if you heard the news, but we were pursuing Jair Alexander, but he ultimately chose to sign with the Baltimore Ravens. He was on our list, so maybe we'll try to go after a Jalen Ramsey.
Yes, hopefully take him.
You know
Take him, please. I get back. Hey, we'll get a bag of chips with him. All right, what type you want? Doritos, Fritos, Lay's? Just take him off our hands.
He's a name that was mentioned. I also like Asante Samuels, but once again, he's an injured corner and he's small. So now we're getting an injured corner paired with another injured corner. Might not be the best idea. So if I had a choice, he'll be he can play anything. I think he's really good. He just needs to stay healthy. That's the biggest thing. But I think I think Jalen Ramsey would be a good addition, but does he want to carry in Carolina? That's the thing. Another rumor I heard circulating is that Carolina's trying to trade for the disgruntled rookie Shamar Stewart in Cincinnati. So if we could add another pass rusher, I would love that a lot. You can never have too many edge rushers. So, I mean, honestly, this offseason is going good. Even with the rumors I'm hearing, I like the rumors I'm hearing. It's like they're still trying to make the team better. So I always love to hear that instead of hearing some crazy stuff like, oh, Carolina's trying to trade for Patrick Mahomes. It's like, come on, bro. Like, what are we doing? You're not getting Patrick. So last thing I want to end this on, have you heard the J.Lo conspiracy theory?
No.
It is absolutely stupid. It's the dumbest thing ever, but people are talking about it, so we're going to talk about it. All right? So in 02-03, Ohio State University won the national championship. Carolina had a losing record that season. Jennifer Lopez filed for divorce from her then husband, Chris Judd. The following season, Carolina made the Super Bowl. 2014-2015, Ohio State wins the national championship. Carolina preceded that year before with a losing record. Jennifer Lopez files for divorce from Mark Anthony, her then husband. Carolina makes the Super Bowl the following year. 2024-2025. Ohio State wins the national championship. Carolina's coming off a losing record. J.Lo files for divorce from her husband, Ben Affleck. Carolina potentially makes the Super Bowl this season. What are your thoughts on this fan theory?
I'll say y'all have a good chance to make the playoffs, but the Super Bowl after the Eagles did what they did, the NFC is a tough one because you have Washington and the Eagles in your division. So I don't know. It's crazy, but we never know. One injury could change everything.
Yeah. I don't guys going to the Super Bowl. Like I said, it's a crazy conspiracy. I think it's stupid. But I will say I do think we're a playoff team. I think we've taken a lot of steps in the right direction. I think guys are going to develop and step up and show up big for us. So I do have us marked as a playoff team. But yes, I had to share that with you because I kept seeing it to the point people were sending it to me. Like, hey, it's y'all year. It's y'all year. It's like, bro, stop. But yeah, man, that's all I got on my Panthers. Anything you want to add?
No, that's it. I'm good.
All right, so it's been another one, y'all. Another fun episode in the books. As always, we appreciate the guys watching all the way through. Guys and gals, excuse me. Anyone who's watching, we appreciate it. Please hit that like button. Please hit that subscribe button. Please hit that share button. And as I've always say, please leave a comment. We'd love to hear what you guys think. Interact with us. Anything you want to add, Money?
Yeah, we're gonna post some shorts for y'all. Comment on the shorts, like them also.
Yes, please share the shorts. Please comment on those, like those, get those out. It helps with engagement. It helps reach more people. I kind of see it with my gaming channel where I make a short and I get a bunch of views on it. So, yes, you see the short, just click on it, like it, because if you've been watching all the episodes, then you've probably seen what the short's about. Give us a thumb up, leave a comment, all those great things. We greatly appreciate it. But I'm JCHD, aka 2 Jason, that is.
I'm Money, and y'all have a great one.
Peace.
Take it easy, y'all.